Your take?
Yeah, it's a good advice that came from the president. And Nigerians are looking at him on how his statement will come to fruition. First of all, we have to look at the way these judges are appointed. It has to start from there. The situation where the president picks and approves and sends to the House for ratification, if that method continues, what we are seeing will continue. Let the people be part of it, as it's done in some part of the world. Okay, the Chief Justice of the nation, let the people be part of it. Let people, and let them apply, and let them, have that voting, like it's done in some, like in the US, from the world level to local level. Then people have to know their antecedents, their CV, what they have done before now, and in their respective position as judges and even as lawyers, when they started their profession in the judiciary. But when you just pick, the judge will do the bidding of his paymaster, and that corruption that he is talking about will always come. But you just made mention of something. In 2023, we're talking about the all eye on judiciary. But at the end of the day, Nigerians were disappointed because you see all the electoral cases that went to the court in 2023. Which one came back favorable to the opposition? It went to the bidders, the highest bidders. So this statement is good, but they have to come up with a reformation. That reformation on how they are appointed.
Who is that?
And the presidency that made the president that made this, it should allow a reformation on the appointment.
Is it the president's duty or the assembly?
The National Assembly, he has been sending bill to National Assembly. If he's serious about it, let him make a presidential bill, send it to National Assembly. Then the National Judicial Council that that does the discipline and orders of the judges too should be an independent body. It should not just be that even as National Judicial Council, the Chief Justice of the nation is the chairman of that council. It's not a good one. So the corruption he is preaching against will not work if these things are not rejigged.
All right, lip service, are you saying?
You see, for me, I think it's deeper than that, because it's just that statement from the president is a validation of the perception of the public, and it's really very deep for judges to even imagine a judge is corrupt. It's like you are throwing the country under the bus. Who do you run to? If the judge that they say is the last hope of the common man, the judicial system is now riddled with corruption, who do you run to? So which means for you to get justice, you have to begin to save money or look for money at all costs. Whereas, if every other part of the society is against you, you are supposed to rely on the judiciary to fight your case. Now that you have to require money to fight your case, it's very dangerous. You see, NJC should live up to its responsibility. How do you allow somebody who has falsified his age? The retirement age of judges is now 70. What are you looking for that you want to surpass that 70 that you are not able to do? Most judges are appointed in their 40s. So if you are appointed 30 years on and you couldn't do anything, what is there in that office that you want to beat the 70 years retirement age that you are now falsifying? Some had even spent before they were discovered. Some had even spent more than 3 years post 70.
But suddenly we are talking about a country like Nigeria where age is not an issue. You can see the greed. The politicians at 80 are still looking for elected positions. So the judge also want to be like them. This is Nigeria where we don't really put
so
age. Even our present president, who knows his age?
Now, corruption is not about stealing money alone. That you even falsify your age is corruption. That you give judgment to the highest bidder is also corruption. Now, if you have all those things revolving around the judiciary, who then do you turn to? It's like somebody who said, if somebody comes to your house to attack you, you say police is your friend. It is not your friend. Who is then your friend? Who do you run to? You go and call another thug that could compromise at the doorway. It's really, really something that runs deeper than what we are just looking at.
Yes,
and
I like the word you use, that runs deeper. I think the president's comment is patronizing. Yes, it's patronizing. Because it's gone beyond perception, it's a reality.
It's a reality.
As the president.
That's what I'm saying. He has validated that perception.
Yes, it's a reality, and the president understands that. But I think he's been smart by half, because somehow a lot of people think that he is also a beneficiary.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So that is the truth of the matter. So, but what can be done? Like you said, what can be done? Something is happening now. Professor Chido Adenikalo, he is the former DG of National Human Rights Commission. And he said something after Wike's expulsion. Do you know what he said? He said that by next week, expect Wike to go to either James Omotoshu or Peter Lifu and get an injunction stopping his expulsion from PDP. These two judges have become quite notorious. I don't know the final points of the law, but a lot of lawyers also say, look, why are you always giving this kind of controversial judgments? It speaks to what the judiciary has become. And like Dele said, if it gets to a point where you can no longer run to the judiciary, and why are you going to resort to self-help? So where else will you go to?
That'll be chaotic.
That's become an anarchy. Because that is the situation we have. Now, what the president needs to do, hands-on, it should go beyond rhetoric, How do we sanitize the judiciary? The National Judicial Council, how do judges get appointed? We have a case where between the NJC and the state governor in Rivers State for 2 years, the state didn't have a chief judge. And so many of the cases had to pen, because they were in his court. The chief registrar was hamstrung and all of that. So until we get a situation when these things are done seamlessly, we will just be running a circle show like we do now. But I'm happy, that the president recognizes the fact that, look, there is something wrong with the judiciary. It's a good take-off point, for things to get better for us. And the box stops at his table too, because he appoints the chairman of the NJC, who is coincidentally the chief justice of the federation. And it's also curious to understand that this chief judge, I think for the back-to-back, the three of them, anytime they are leaving, they tell us that there is rot in the judiciary. So while you were there, why couldn't you do anything? And the new one that is coming will come to tell us, look, I'm going to sanitize the judiciary before I leave. And the person is doing his passing out or whatever they call it, the person will say, look, there's a problem here and we need to fix it. You were there for like 4 or 5 years, you couldn't fix it. Is it a problem of lack of will? Keep going back to that word, political will. Lack of political will. Who has that will? Who has that will that is keeping it? That political will. Who is keeping it that he doesn't want to release it to Nigeria?
It's always a big problem. Honestly, I'm not really comfortable with this. I'm not really comfortable.
Okay, now let's now segue into the PDP crisis. Well, Mr. Elvis here has talked about he has given his own view on the PDP crisis. I don't know if he has other things to add, but let's take your own view. And before you react, let's take the headlines as they appear, because that's what we are reacting to actually. The Punch says PDP HQ showdown. That's PDP headquarters showdown. Makinde Wike factions hold rival next sessions today. All right, today is the D-Day, as it were. PDP crisis may consume 2 governors. Others, as factions fix parallel meetings. I saw in another paper, I think the Vanguard, that there are more defections from the PDP. Let's see if I can quickly get to that particular headline. It's, I am pretty sure that it's from the Vanguard newspaper, where it talked about more defections from the PDP to the APC, and all of it as the PDP is facing the crisis that it is facing currently. Let's see now. I think I'm pretty much there. Okay, so Taraba Speaker, 15 PDP assembly members defect to APC. That's from the Vanguard. So, and conventions were not held.
You see,
Congresses were
not
even held there.
On Saturday in the afternoon, I was in transit.
Oh, the Guardian says it's 16 actually. Okay, well.
That's just a precursor for the governor, advanced party of the governor. The defectors they are the advanced party. You know, when governor wants to visit a place, advanced party will come. So that's the advanced party. Let's leave that for now.
We saw it in data.
Now, when I was on the highway, I tuned in to a particular station, and luckily, that station was reporting live from the convention ground. First thing I noticed was that they told us the man that is the MC of that convention announced that representative of INEC were there. And that gave me that.
But they left.
They didn't come. The same, I think maybe one of the top officials of PDP, top leaders, had to take the microphone.
Bala Mohammed.
Bala Mohammed, yes.
The present governor.
The present governor of Bauchi
State.
That there is no INEC person here on ground. That those people that showed up were national officers of the party. That was very instructive for two reasons. How can a party with cohesion not know that there was no INEC presence? And would INEC have come to a convention like that?
Elvis is of the opinion that INEC presence really doesn't matter.
Who said so?
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Go ahead. See,
Yeah. The electoral assay may.
when you
And
say
we have seen in the Labour Party that they did not attend Abure's convention.
what was the result?
Abure today is still in their website.
No, what is the
result?
result?
Recognized chairman of a Labour Party as we speak in
Even when
Nigeria
the Supreme Court said that
the last meeting of INEC, Abure was there.
You see?
The last meeting held by this very present chairman of INEC, the new chairman, Abure was the one that attended Labour Party's position.
You see,
So there are issues.
The issues are, I always say one thing. If a law is passed, let's not even wait for it to be passed. If there is a bill today tendered before the Speaker or President of the Senate or House of Reps, I can tell you before night falls, people will walk around it and look at the loopholes, waiting for that law to be passed so that they can circumvent. What that told me on Saturday was PDP, with all its structures, with all its organs, shouldn't have mistaken party officials as INEC officials. There should have been communication between INEC and the NEC, National Executive Council meeting, or National Working Committee, or the organizing committee of that convention, that we are sending so people to your convention.
that is what Elvis is saying. And
it's another thing, if it matters or not.
Okay.
The fact that that man, who is also a member of PDP, announced it, that INEC was present, and then another
Could have been an honest
person.
mistake.
It could have been, yes, I wanted to say that it could have been an honest.
Okay, let's agree without conceding that it's an honest mistake. Now, politics is a game of number. It is too late in the day to sack the likes of Wiki. Because the maximum, somebody that has been expelled, what does that mean?
Expelled him.
Not with the new National Working Committee of PDP.
That is the problem. Which National Working Committee?
That is what I'm saying. So now they took vendetta into that convention and predetermined who to sack and who to retain, even when you are not properly seated. Now, this is another round of crisis. They have not resolved the previous ones. They are now adding another fresh one to it. Now, how do you think PDP will survive this crisis before election in 2027?
Okay, this crisis. Now, let me take it up from there. First of all, the Ibadan Convention, based on the position Elvis canvassed, I had a lawyer on my show who also said, look, now what INEC needs to do, what PDP needs to do, is to officially write INEC that they are holding a convention on so and so day. And what is INEC required to do? To just acknowledge receipt of that notice, signed receipt by me, and for them, for the party
to be properly informed.
And for that, they choose to or
either invite or not.
No, either to observe or not. That is one. Now, the new National Publicity Secretary that the convention produced, Emma Mobong, says that, look, when people raise the issue of some delegates, some states didn't have delegates. You know what he said? He said, yes, some states didn't have delegates because those delegates, the congresses had not been conducted. But we also made the quorum, which according to PDP constitution, you must have 2/3 of the 36 states, which is 26. They said they had more than 26 states, 24 produced delegates, for that convention. And when he was asked about the sack of Nike and Co, he said that, look, that the convention is the highest decision-making body of the party, not even the National Working Committee, not even the NEC, but the convention, because it comprises of all the delegates. And when he said all, 2/3. So they already had a quorum. Now the point is this. That same lawyer said that because Sule Lamido had a restraining order, stopping PDP from holding that convention, that it is voidable. That either Sule Lamido or another person whose interest has been injured by that could go to court and say, look, Mr. Court, he had an order that the PDP should not hold the convention because this man was excluded. There was a breach of his fundamental human rights. And when I raised the issue of the Supreme Court saying that, look, that the internal crisis, the leadership problem of a party is its internal problem, he said no, that Sule Lamido's fundamental human rights had been breached.
Which transcends private affair of the party. So that it is voidable that someone could go to court and say, look, Mr. Court, PDP held this convention when you had against the order.
And so that the same court or another court could also void the convention. And so when I asked him, by your estimation as a lawyer, relying on experience, you understand what has happened in the past, with the PDP. Which faction of the PDP
will be recognized now?
He said, well, I can't make an opinion because I'm biased. I'm a Wike supporter. So I cannot tell you that it
which in itself is an opinion.
Which itself is an opinion. And I said, no, I want you to give me a legal opinion. He prevaricated because he knew.
Because he knew that the convention that held in Ibadan has produced leadership for PDP. Leadership for PDP. And that's just
it's a problem for the PDP. Like the end point, like you said, is that PDP might not, at the end of the day, survive this onslaught before 2027. I think that is the game plan. And it leads me to think that, look, both Sheyi Makinde and Nyesom are on the same page. And they are working.
Very good.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that. That payoff line settles everything.
For me, that is it.
That's the truth.
Because
forget about Makinde's post story.
You know what? One curious thing and one funny thing is that the new chairman of the PDP is what? A lawyer, not just a lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Yes.
So doesn't he understand the implications?
Of course.
The legal hurdles, the landmines before him and all of that. So I think there's a lot going on. And Kefas Abu is leaving.
Yes, he is. That's why his people are ahead of it.
Are we to
now we see move to
if they don't deal,
Fintiri saying, look, well, we distribute ourselves from
the expulsion.
They will also leave.
You see, why is it that
they will leave too?
But I've presented all these things, and I've said that it is not that they like APC. It is not that they like Tinubu. The reason why they are moving is the three other political parties that are in opposition are sinking, and nobody wants to sink.
They are afraid that they may not have the party to fly their ticket.
No, they will have.
No, even if you have,
they will have.
No.
You see, the Zamfara example has taught them a lesson. Zamfara won in all the offices. They were already celebrating, and those who lost had gone back to their private life. Suddenly, just one technical thing of somebody signing that is not supposed to sign.
That's
swept. And so that's why they are moving to APC. As at now, APC has its internal crisis.
But are we saying that there will be no opposition party outside PDP that will also contest 2027 general election?
In fact, there are multiple that will contest. But the point is, how strong
will they be?
And what is the landmine? Are they going to remove those landmines?
We are talking of being strong. We are talking of state governors living. If you stand as a state governor and you have met the need of your people, forget about it. Unfortunately, we don't have independent candidacy in Nigeria. If we have it, there are some governors who have actually done well in their respective states. Even if there were independent candidacy, they would have won election.
No, but Elvis, you also know that there is no independence candidate.
It's not about whichever party
it is not about what your people want. It is about what the court says about who signed their nomination.
Exactly. As of today, now, if you are a politician,
who is the chairman of Labour Party?
Who is the chairman of Labour Party?
I mean, no, Mr. Koro, it's like supposing ADC is able to put his house in order before 2027.
These are suppositions.
We are
talking about reality.
Even the reality on ground. Are you saying that APC will continue in this trajectory before 2027 election?
But that is still a conjecture. But what is on ground now is what is making these governors to go to APC.
Because if you look at most of these governors are first-term governors.
Yes, and they want to return.
Return 2027.
And the only way they can return.
Look, I've done a lot for my people. You know,
but eventually, if I now contest on the ticket of this party, and then
I think in all this, one of the governors I should be sympathetic with in this matter is should even be Abia State Governor.
How?
Alex Oti. Because, like you just made mention of Labour Party, we don't know what will happen. And he has not even told Nigerians that he's leaving for anywhere at the moment. So why should he be bothered about? And he has done so well, according to the people from his state. So why should he be talking about where will he get his?
You don't have to bother for Alex. You know why?
He knows what to do.
You know why? He knows what to do. When the issue of Labour Party came, when they wanted to conduct local government elections, within 2 weeks, he moved everybody to Zenith Labour Party.
And they won. So what are you talking about?
That's exactly what I'm saying now. There are still some other political parties that, if the governors are not actually greedy on their own too, and they feel they've done so well,
have you seen a governor that is not greedy?
They can move to another party.
Since democracy started in this Fourth Republic, show me one governor that is not greedy.
It happened in Rivers State. It happened in Rivers State when
Fubara
had
council election.
PPA was speaking less than 2 weeks, and they swept the polls.
We should be saying that let the governors also build their own party at that grassroots within their own jurisdiction. We saw Jews of Kalu built a party in Abia, that same Abia, some time ago. PPA and contested and they won election in Abia. They won election in Abia.
He won because he was governor.
And that's what I'm saying. So since you are still there, you build a grassroots party and contest under it and carry your people along. Who says?
Now let me tell you.
Tinubu single-handedly built AC to ACN that got to APC today because he stood by it. Why can't another governor also do so? They have all the resources to do it.
Abga had a potential for that, but right now we don't even know.
No. Soludo has actually sold Abga.
Yes, because I like the fact that you brought in the ABGA and the SCA. You know, we are actually supposed to have regional parties.
Regional parties will not be always be. Everybody will not always be looking at national. There are parties in
it makes it very strong.
It makes it very strong.
You know,
it gives them negotiation power.
Then there will be compromise. There will be negotiation.
Exactly. And you will not have more people in the National Assembly. No, you know, when these people they'll bring in their candidates will also be in the National Assembly to debate.
That was why it was easier for us to run a government of national unity between 1979
and 83.
Yeah, 83.
You know, But at
because
that point,
UPN was strong here.
Yeah, MPP was strong in the West.
In the East.
MPN was strong
in the
and at
North.
the
And you
point,
could see
at
the
the
robust
point,
debates.
MPN was growing to become a national party.
Yes.
But it didn't also decimate the other
Other parties. So you must extend
not
your
the
hand
same
of
Nigeria
fellowship
happened?
to other people to be able to get to thoughts.
I think this cross-carpeting governors should actually look at where we are coming from, the history of what we
They
are.
will not
all
look at
more
that
concerned about
because
their
it's more
personal-
expensive
their
to do that. It's more expensive.
Okay.
It's easier to cross-carpet.
It's very easier to
Say
cross.
your team ahead. You know?
Right. Now let's talk about a more human angle issue. Let's leave the politicians and let's talk about the abductions. The Punch reports mass abductions return. 145 missing in 4 days. 145 missing in 4 days. Kidnapped Kebbi schoolgirls, Zamfara. Niger villagers search intensifies. Atiku PDP reacts. FG pledges swift rescue. Let's see if there are riders to that story. Okay, there are no riders to it. But basically, we've had abductions of at least 145 people in Kebbi, Niger, Zamfara states in the past 4 days. Now, the paper reports that this resurgence of mass kidnappings raises familiar political and security alarms as the country gears up for the 2027 polls.
Thank God that they mentioned 2027 polls. You see, all these things are towards election.
But it's unfair.
That's
It's
what I'm
unfair
saying.
that
You see,
people will have to suffer
Moses,
because politicians have ambition.
Moses, I have mingled with politicians that, as I'm talking to you, when it comes to getting things right, I'm almost becoming a pessimist. And I'll tell you, you see, these politicians, when they want to discuss, they don't look at you and I as a factor. They look at land mass and population. And they will bring the map of Nigeria to the table and say, as long as this place is ceded to me, there won't be problem. But the moment you cross from your own end to my own end, there will be problem. And who is the victim of this problem? The masses. Now, innocent people are kidnapped for political reasons. The other person who is supposed to take charge is also looking at his second term, securing his second term. So it will not be decisive. And in the process, not all these 143 will return home. And losing critical human capital
another
to
problem
politics.
is the 25 girls. If care is not taken, next thing we will hear is
They'll marry them off.
they are profiled, and then the Christians among them picked out, and the international community already. The Pope is also saying, look, pray for Nigeria, because there are mass persecution of Christians in Nigeria. So before long, community will now wrap it around religious killings.
You know why you cannot discountenance the Pope if he's talking. That man had been here in Nigeria
He knows more about
for a period of time. So he understands the intricacies. He came in here as a bishop. And for him to be a bishop as a missionary, he has places he was superintending over. And so he understands the dynamics. Unlike somebody who is far flung from us, who doesn't know anything about the dynamics of this country.
And he's relying on second-hand information.
Yeah, and he's relying on second-hand. But this one knows everything. So that's why it's instructive.
It's not different from what happened in Chibok girls, when we were preparing for 2015 general election. We have seen another one again.
Seems to have become a pattern.
It's a pattern. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It has become a pattern.
Discredits
And
the
the
government.
northern big wigs knows much about this. They are bringing this one again to destabilize this nation towards 2027 general election. We will now have where to begin to pinch their tent on this. Jonathan's biggest sin was that Chibok girls
were not
rescued in his regime throughout administration before he left. But today, their brother came and spent 8 years with the toga of a general, the retired general in the army, military, and he could not bring the Chibok girls back. So this is just a repetition of what we have been saying.
Being a repetition, history repeats itself because men don't learn from history. But I think, unfortunately, or fortunately, men are going to learn this time because the person in the saddle, the current president, is a master of the game. So we have been told. They did it to Jonathan and succeeded. I'm not sure that they will do it to this one and succeed. You know why?
Why?
When the North cried foul and said, look, we need to change the service chief because they are not doing enough, the president didn't listen to them. When they pushed Jonathan, push, he removed the head with her. You know why the president changed the service chiefs? Because of his push care. A lot of people believe, and I believe too, it has nothing to do with
The observation of insecurity, yes.
You understand? So the president is giving
my
them.
thoughts
Yes,
as well.
the president is matching the game, game for game. Because he too understands the game and believes that, look, these are people that president already, I believe he already has a matrix box. And inside that box, he knows which interests,
I would like
classify, who to talk to, who to ignore, who to pander to, and all of that. So it is a game that they are playing.
I would like to read out this headline. I mean, I just saw it now. From the Guardian, it says, genocide. U.S. lawmakers alleges Tinubu lying, protecting own interests. The writers, Congress to debate Christian persecution in Nigeria on Thursday. So they're going on with the conversation. Group alleges fresh killing of 99 Christians. So we are not out of the woods yet.
No, we are not. The truth remains that
in fact, it will escalate.
Yes.
From the way it is now.
This recent adoption now.
Adoption.
And you have, even since Trump made that statement, you have seen the killing in Benue and all that, and that have been going on. So
I think the person
when
that
we
spoke,
possibly know what the debate will swing.
The person that spoke is very well informed. He understands because since this issue of Christian genocide happened, people went back to the archives, went into the archives, and they were able to dig up facts, pictures, speeches that the current APC leadership and the one that passed on, Muhammad Buhari, may God bless his soul, including Amechi, they went to United States. They met with the Secretary of State in Foggy Bottom, talking about John Kerry. They presented a case that Christians were being killed in Nigeria. Now these people are in power and the same thing is happening. Do you know what we see? We see serving Christians coming to defend. Look, there is no genocide. What we have is sectarian violence.
We see religious leaders.
Religious leaders.
I think it's all
religious leaders.
Even can.
Even Northern can.
They play the ostrich.
They play the ostrich. So the president's interest, is in the mix. And so that person that spoke understand. We all understand that the whole thing is around
politics.
Sheyi Gumi said something. He has been speaking quite a lot. He said something the first day he appeared on this show. He said, look, if Trump as much as harms one Muslim in the name of defending Christians, he is going to unleash, the Muslims will unleash mayhem on the Christians.
He didn't say he said Muslims will turn their guns against
Christians. He said that. It was very instructive. And yesterday, do you know what he said? He said they are not afraid, they don't cry when they lose someone. I expect this. There's been a resurgence. You know what they're trying to do? They're probably wanting to draw in Trump. Of course, if they draw in Trump, either by footprints or by any means that he wants to, take out the terrorists, it will make 2027 difficult for everybody.
There will be religious war.
And that is practically what they do. That's what I think. These are my conjectures.